Well, today's video is a little different, but we had something happen in our milking parlour that hasn't happened in the milking parlour with us before. Not to the scale that happened this time, but up in that attic above there, above our dairy, there's our bulk tank there. So up there, right up there, lift it up a little bit, you see that white container? Well, that's our water heater. It's a 100 litre Atlantic water heater. We've had a few of them Atlantics. They've normally been good. You get about, you'd be lucky, you get around 10 years out of them. So, and then what ends up happening is a crack eventually, and you come out someday and the water's running out of them, and that's the end of them. But this one was different. This is Saturday. I was milking Wednesday morning. And when I was milking, I was on the first row of cows, which I normally start on the left-hand side. I was literally starting to wet down this side here, getting ready for the next row of cows to come in, and bang. But the lid blew clean off the heater, hit the roof, and just threw boiling hot water the whole way down here onto the parlour. All of it landed on this side and got me as well. It burnt my arm, it burnt my back a bit. It's grand, it's only superficial burn, not doing me any harm. But thankfully it didn't get on the cows on the far side. They were lucky. If it had been this side, the first 4 cows would have got drenched in mad hot water. So we were very, very lucky in a way. We'll go up and have a quick look at it and see what it's like. As you see, I had to pull out some of the floor. I was absolutely drenched. All that kind of rusty colour, that's all coming from the stuff that was inside it. I have it all disconnected, I have all the plumbing taken out of it. Lucky enough, I was fit to shut it down quickly enough. Come up here, flick the isoler switch, turn off the water feed, and that was it, problem sorted. But you can see here, there's the lid. And see the lid was pushed straight up. So there's the water burst out, and the water burst out, it hit the roof here, and then sent the whole water flying down the parlour to that side. It shouldn't happen, because on ours we have 2 things that kind of prevents that. Now, a plumber fitted this, it was correctly fitted, so one thing we have reducing valve, so that just reduces the pressure of water, and we can set it to whatever bar we want that's coming in, because we do have a fair bit of pressure to our water because it's coming from a local scheme and it is fairly pressurized, which we like to have, so we put a reducer on there just to reduce that pressure going in. Another thing we have that should have prevented this problem, and I think it is the culprit, is this guy here, and that's a blowout valve. Its job is when there's too much pressure in this tank is to blow out here, to not blow the tank as it did here. It's supposed to blow off here. Just even by turning it there, it's stuck. That by there is jammed, and that's probably what caused the whole thing. It jammed itself up and it wasn't fit to blow off the way it should, and that's what was wrong. Today's Saturday, and yesterday I was hoping the new one would have been delivered, and lo and behold, it came at 7:30 last night. I was glad to see it because I wanted to get it in this weekend. I do need the hot water for the bulk tank, I need it for the parlour, I need it for feeding calves, so the hot water is something that we need, especially for the bulk tank. It's possible, and of course need me a cup of tea as well. Boom. Back on and out. Alright, success. We have it off. There's a nice bit of weight in that, I'll be honest with you. There's a nice bit of weight, but I'm going to put a rope around now and lower it down to the parlour floor. I'm going to wire up the other one now exactly where this one's wired, and then we're going to put the other one up, hang it into place, and get it set up. Right, so this is our new water heater. Just delivered here last night at 7:30, so we'll unbox this and I'll get my brother up there and give me a hand just to lift it up into the attic. So it's exactly the same as the last one. One thing I didn't like to see is it's got a bloody big dent in it. Hopefully there's no damage inside. It's got a couple of dents here and there on it. It wasn't sitting right in its packaging either, so I'm hoping that it's fine. We'll only know when we put it up and test it, but I'd rather not see dents in a new heater. Alright, so my brother came up and kindly gave me a hand to lift the new one up. I didn't want to dent it or scratch it really, pulling it up against the wall, so my brother came up and the two of us lifted it up into place. No big job, it just slotted exactly on where the other one came off because it's the very, very same one. And I wired it back in the same way. I have some of the plumbing done. I have the pressure valve, pressure reducing valve on. All I have to do now is replace this blow off valve with a new blow-off valve. It is corroded and it's locked up, completely locked up. It should turn nice and easy as this one here does, so I'm thinking that is what caused the problem. Anyway, let's get this plumbed up because I have the milk lorry coming here in a couple of hours time and I want to get hot water to wash the milk tank, and it's a job to get done. So I'm going to put on some plumber's tape. Some people would use compound. You know what, I have used plumber's tape on these before and it hasn't been an issue at all, even when it does be warm. I've never seen one leak yet. There's a hole there in the shed. You might ask what that's for. Well, that's actually to take a pipe directly from this, so if you do get some blow off, it doesn't go down on the roof, it just goes straight outside, so it's not dampening the roof in any shape or form. So that's the reason for that. The next thing we have to do is just I put a blank cap on here onto the mains feed, so we just have to hook it back up and turn it on. It's going to run a little bit. So these 1/2 inch heavy gauge pipes don't really need plumber's tape. They normally seal quite quickly and easily without it. Okay, alright, so the next thing we do is turn our mains feed back on. There we go. So that's water coming in. You can hear the tank filling as it is. Right, so that's that in. All plumbed up, and by God, there's no leaks. It's been running now since last night. No leaks whatsoever. The blow-off valve is on now, the new blow-off valve. It's up, it's fixed, and we have hot water. Milkman is just gone, just empty the last of the milk out. Put on our lid. We've opened up here. There we have it. Tank will run through its wash and we're back in action. It's a big miss, hot water. We were washing that tank manually, so we're walking into it. People thought we were getting into the tank. You should never get into a tank. I wasn't getting into it. I was sticking the power washer into it and just running around and putting some detergent in the bottom and just agitating that up. It's not the best way of doing things, but it done rightly for the next 2 days, and hopefully our quality will remain good. Now, next job, let's get on to it. Right, Sophia, you can let them out. They'll probably run through this. They do it every year, but they'll get a jag as they're going through it. You can close the gate behind them. There we go. Oh, it's not that nice. There we go, that's another one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've done really well inside, so it's time now to get them out with the other ones. It's just got too warm in the sheds now, too warm and stuffy, and they deserve to get outside and have a bit of a gallop around. There we go again. Oh, yeah. But we're going to stand with them now for another 15 minutes or so to make sure none of them go too mad. I'll leave them then for a couple of hours here in the yard. Let them have a runabout and just get used to themselves running after each other and get used to the fence being in front of them, like here. And then later on this evening we'll put them out with the rest of them. We're after getting rid of 2 newborn calves there as well this morning, so there's no newborn calves on the farm at the minute. So we just have them 3 cows over there that still have to calve. Just them 3 cows, and that's grand because my little tractor is gone now to get the clutch in it, and there's just enough silage there to keep them going for a couple of days. We'll probably end up putting them out. We've got loads of grass, as you can see. Here's the paddock here that was grazed only 7 days ago, and you can see the way it's coming on already. It's growing really well. So grass is literally walking it now. Alright, so it's time to move these calves in. Oh my God, that's handy. That's the first one in. Successes. Successes. Come on, that's it. Keep it coming. Successes. Successes. Brilliant. Couldn't have done it better myself. Hold on 1 second. I just have to get the trailer ready. Get these gates ready here so they can't jump out. They're a bit lively because you can see the other cows to the side of the wire. But I want that to encourage them over to the wire so that they'll touch it and get electric shock from that as well. I know it might sound cruel, but it's not. It's not an electric shock that'll do you or me any harm. It's just enough to keep them from going near it. So the other cows are watching eagerly. They'll be joining them now shortly. I was hoping to be able to reverse straight back and let them out in there in the gap. But as you can see, it's too wet. The ground is just too wet. So we'll let them run about here for a wee while till they calm down a little bit. Because I know they're going to gallop. Mind there, Nicole? Easy. I know they're going to gallop around a bit. Get the galloping out of the way first, and then we let them in with the other ones. Is that fence on? Is it connected there to the wire? It is? Oh, the bottom one's not. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. The bottom one is. Yeah, it's connected over there. No, it's fine. Just have touched the wire a couple of times now and it hasn't shocked them. But the fence is definitely on. It's plugged in. I can hear it ticking away. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it touched it, but it might have been between the shock. Ah, that's more like it. Yeah. Don't do that again. So, of all the girls helping up, Sophia's up there, Danielle's here, Elena's here, Nicole's here, so there's enough of us now to deal with any problems. You can't blame them for having a good gallop around because they've never been out in the open before. They've never had that experience before, so let them at it. As long as they don't go through the wire, it's nice to see them having a good play around. So we have them in now, all together. Was handy enough. We just opened the gap. I got Nicole to turn off the electric fence. I had to put the camera down, was just had to open that up first and get it done quickly, get them in quickly and get the fence back on before they run at it. And of course I knew they'd run gallop straight for the bottom, naturally enough. It's downhill, but I had Danielle and Sophia at the wire going back and forth, just guarding that wire and get a big shout at them every time the calves run at them. That solved the problem. And there's plenty of shade here from the sun as well. It's just a nice shady area. That's why they spend so much time down here. So part of the deal today was that I promised the girls I'd get them to spin down the lane in the trailer. The things you have to do for kids. Guys, you remember I was talking about we were doing something different and covering our pit this year. Well, we go down the traditional route where we have about 1,500 tyres. I've already got a trailer filled over there, as you can see. A lot of handling, a lot of double handling, which isn't always easy, especially if you don't have the help every day you need it. Especially when your brother goes on holidays when you're making silage, doesn't help either. But we've got a different way of covering here, and Christopher's going to show you what's in the back of the van. So Christopher, let you take it, a little tour of what you have here.
Don't mind the mess in the back of the van.
Not at all, you're alright.
Right. What we have here first, Adrian, is we have our protection net, right? So our protection net, that's going to go on top of the pit. That's going to go on top of all your other layers. Your cling seal, your under layers, that's your oxygen barrier, that's going to be going on first. Nice thin layer, clings down to your grass, little to no waste. Yeah. There's a couple of covers on top of that. Then your protection net. So your protection net comes in sections. So basically, like your pit, there'll probably be 3 to 4 sections. Okay,
so that's the sizes. That's the sizes.
Exactly.
So you get all them sizes.
5 by 10, 8 by 10,
15
up
meters,
to 15 by 20
meters. Okay, yeah.
So they are.
Yeah.
Hell of a job. Boards and things like that. You have no holes in your pit or anything like that.
Yeah.
And there is a bit of weight to them too.
Helps keep the whole thing down as well.
Keep the whole thing down.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, then if you don't want to go the traditional messy route of tyres and tyres full of water and things like that, an awful job.
Yeah.
You have your sandbags.
Yeah.
So you have. Now, I call them sandbags. You can fill them with pea gravel, you can fill them with drainage stone and bits and pieces like that.
Okay.
Fantastic job. Good and strong, never going to bust on you.
Yeah. We've started using similar ones to these. A couple of years ago we started buying them bit by bit. And I noticed we used to use fertiliser bags filled with what a lot of people use. Just roll them up and put them down the sides of the walls. You see there, we have them here now at the minute.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant. They're about what, 3 foot? They're about in around 3 foot, 2.5, 3 foot.
Yeah.
And they're just a godsend. But I never thought of using them on the pit. And I seen people before on videos on YouTube covering the pit with these sandbags. And I said, geez, if that works, that's going to alleviate some bit of handling. Like 1,500 tyres there is tough work, especially when it's warm, and especially sometimes now what we're doing is we're taking the cover off after the first cut and then we're putting the second cut in on top of it, and that's what we'll probably do this year. So that's going to save a huge amount of work, so it is.
Oh, it's massive. It's massive. Look at lugging tyres up to a pit is a big job.
Yeah.
The like of this, they're a lot easier handled. You can throw one across your shoulder. If you're feeling fit, you can throw two across your shoulder.
Yeah.
They're a lot cleaner. Like, you're not going to the like of old tyres and things like that. You can have wires poking out and things like that. Just little things that can put a little hole in a pit and just create that bit of spoilage around it. And it doesn't take too many of them until you have a right bit of silage wasted, you know.
Yeah, we see us calving men, we never let our tyres get down to the wire. That's when the modern people normally do that. But anyway, yeah, it looks a good job. I'll be very interested in seeing now, as you said before, we're going to use is it a clean seal or what's that called?
Cling seal. Yeah. So cling seal is basically, it's the same kind of concept as cling film in your sandwiches. Yeah. So it is. Yeah. Keeps everything fresh. Your cling seal is a far thinner sheet than the your standard silage cover. Yeah. Still very strong, still can walk on it in bits and pieces when you're covering it, but as pits start to sink, and you'll always have a little bit of settling no matter how well you roll a pit. Yeah. As pits start to sink and things like that, it'll cling down far better to little bits of grass and little bits of divots and hollows that you mightn't see by eye. Yeah. And you just get a tighter seal. Now we do have waste on our sides. You see our pit does sink down on the sides. I'll show you a bit more of that when we're stripping off the cover. You'll always get a bit of oxygen coming in through the wall, especially as the walls get older. But we have a problem where we would like to put covers across the walls, but the rails make it difficult. We done it before and we got a lot of holes in our covers with a man putting it up, and it's not his fault, he just couldn't see it at times and little holes came there, and then it kind of ruined the whole concept of it. So we don't mind the little bit of waste we have along the walls, but the sandbags definitely helped to eliminate a lot of it. It's just last year we got a lot of waste on the top of the pit with 4 covers. We didn't expect to see that, so hopefully this year be a different job. Hopefully. So our pit's ready now. Our contractor said it could be here tomorrow. If it's not raining, it could be here or it could be Thursday or Friday or even Saturday. It's given rain, it's given actually spot flooding tomorrow. So I don't think we're going to be doing any silage tomorrow. It'll be after lunch before he said he'd be even here. So I don't think any silage is going to be done tomorrow. I'm thinking hopefully over the weekend. It's a pity to have it done now, the weather's been so good for the last couple of days, but you can't blame contractors. They just can't go to everybody at the one time. So it's not their fault, they're under a lot of pressure. It'll be grand like any other year. It'll all be made, it'll all be 100%. One thing I haven't done in a long time in my pit, and a lot of you guys do comment down below anytime I mention a silage pit, is to put the covers across the walls. The reason I haven't done that in years is because of these rails. It's awkwarder to put the covers across the rails, and I found I've done it before and they've got ripped and they've been in the way, especially if the pit is inclined to be a little bit bigger. If it goes up halfway up the bars, up to the top bar, the grass usually would fall out and push the whole cover out. Sometimes it was just a mess and I quit doing it. But this year we are working with Rhino products, and they are going to be supplying us with covers and a netting sealer cover as well, and they want me to put the covers over the rails. They recommend, yes, we're doing it all the time, put it over the rails. So do you know what, I was against it for a while. I just said to them, you know what, if you want to do it, go ahead, go for it, put it across the rails, see how you get on, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we won't be doing it again. So we are going to put covers across the walls this year. I think that's the way the lane we're going to go down. So it'll be interesting to see what way it works out. So I'm going to run pipes on that there this evening and get that all tidied up, so you'll see that in Sunday's video. My 3 girls, as you can see, are still waiting to calve. 2 of them are in quite a while, and they're only starting to spring properly, and the other girl, she's in on the 10th of June, which is another 9 days yet, but then they'll be calved. It's to throw back some fresh silage here. The silage doesn't keep too well when the weather's warm. It dries out much too quick, so it's hard to keep the silage fresh in front of them. I'll be putting in some fresh silage with them before we do cut, and that'll do them for a few days, then we put them out in grass if they haven't calved by then. I haven't had any update on the case yet. It's been away now for a few days. I know he has started on it. I'm going to probably call up to him tonight or the next night and have a look at it. I hope to get a bit of video and footage of it being done, certainly of it being split, and get a look at the clutch and see what it's actually like in it. It'd be interesting to see, is there much wear, and hopefully there's no other damage anywhere else in it. But it'd be great to get that machine back. It's a big miss already on the farm. Hopefully another week or 2 we'll have our case back in much better shape than she ever was. I know a lot of you who watch my channel probably watch Jerry 6420. Jerry's a tillage farmer, beef suckler farmer down there in County Louth. And I know you probably know the little bit of rivalry that's going on between myself and Jerry, between Case and John Deere. Well, first of all, I want to say I've nothing against John Deere. I actually nearly bought a John Deere when I was younger.
The only problem is I ended up going for a different model in the end because the Garden and Leisure store that I was buying it didn't stock John Deere tractor lawnmowers. So Viking came next and ended up going with them. But other than that, I think they make great tractor lawnmowers. But I know it has escalated a little bit, and I know Jerry got a little upset about me slagging off his 3650 and the fact that she's in 3 different pieces just to change a fuse. It happens. But I know you guys have followed us a lot of what we're doing. Myself and Jerry said, you know what, let's see who is real supporters of Case and John Deere. So we're working on something that maybe you guys can show as your support if you want, if you choose to. It's sweet. I think you guys are going to love it, and the young guys especially. You get to show who you support. Listen, I don't mind. You mind? I don't mind who you support, as long as it's Case. I'm going to go and milk the cows now and get my jobs done for the evening. Thanks very much for watching, as always, folks. If you haven't already, hit that sub button. You give us a like, put the comments down below. We'll get back to them if we can. You follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook. And until the next one, talk to you again. What's this all about? What?